Coming at you full-fledged, it's your boy Regg, with another video for y'all, man. Welcome, YouTube. How fitting that the fourth edition of the 10 greatest NBA teams of all time features a ball club with at least 4 Hall of Famers in the starting five and had 4 of the greatest bigs on one team, the 1986 Boston Celtics. Now, at the beginning of the 1985-86 season, the two pillars of the league, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, had already had half of the decade's championships and sought to get the rest of them for as long as they could compete. Now, after losing the title to the Los Angeles Lakers in 1985 and allowing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to win the Finals MVP at age 38, Boston needed some retooling if they wanted to make it back to the finals and beat LA. Now, us basketball fans are familiar with the concept of a player balling out for a huge max payout. That was the case for Cedric Cornbread Maxwell in 1984. To give some context, Maxwell was drafted by Boston in 1978. That was the final season of all-time small forward John Havlicek. And if you look into Cornbread's game, you notice that he was a double-double threat in the scoring and passing categories. And he was an extremely efficient player, leading the league in field goal percentage in 1979 and 1980. With the retirement of Hondo in 78, the Celtics drafting once-in-a-lifetime talent Larry Bird in the 1979-1980 season, then Cornbread winning Finals MVP in 1981, drama was inevitable. Again, after losing in the 85 finals, the Celtics wanted to retool. But during those finals, Maxwell was recovering from an injury and averaged just 2.6 points in 10.6 minutes per game. Remember what I said, players balling out for that huge max payout. All that happened after Cornbread got his money. It said some off-putting things that rubbed Bird the wrong way, as they weren't done winning in his mind. They weren't done. And he was saying like, I don't play against JV teams, and I got my money. That's it, guys. That's all. That's how far we're gonna go. He's saying shit like that. Bird wasn't feeling that. In result, on September 6, 1985, Boston traded Bob McAdoo, who I didn't know was on the team. I didn't know Bob McAdoo was on the team. He was on the Celtics and the Lakers. But I found this out. He didn't get any clout that previous year. He wasn't playing for whatever reason. And yeah, he was traded on September 6th for draft assets. And Cornbread Maxwell, he was sent to the LA Clippers for a former league MVP. Now, after center Bill Walton's MVP campaign in 1978 was prematurely ended due to injury, he continued to battle his deteriorating foot. He continued to battle that. He missed the 1979 season, the 1981 season, and the 1982 season. Walton, as time went on, after missing those seasons, he would increase his amount of games played by 30 over the next 3 years. It went 20 games, and I think another 10 games that third season, playing for the San Diego Clippers, showing that he could still provide some two-way ability on a contending team. Now, once the 85-86 season began and he was officially on the Celtics, Walton played 80 games. That's the most ever in his career. And he averaged 7.6 points, 6.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, and 1.3 blocks, becoming the first player in history to win a league MVP and Sixth Man of the Year award. In 1986, the Chief, Robert Parrish, continued to be Boston's defensive anchor as he made his fifth of 6 straight All-Star appearances, 8 in total. This season, Parrish also swatted 1.4 blocks per game while putting up 16.1 points, grabbing 9.5 boards, while dishing 1.8 assists per game. Arguably, the greatest post scorer ever, Kevin McHale, was just starting to enter his prime at the age of 28 back in 86. In 68 games, the Black Hole put up his highest average career in assists with 2.7, alongside his third highest average in blocks with 2 per game. This season, McHale grabbed 8.1 rebounds as well as scoring 21.3 points per game. Again, this is before the 1987 season where he'd averaged 26 and 10 off at least 60% from the field and 80% from the charity stripe, making that an historic season. I don't think nobody's done that since. Averaged 60 from the field and at least 80 from the free throw line. So that just goes to show how hungry the squad was to get back and compete, because again, he wasn't even in his peak yet. For Larry Bird in 1986, he was personally competing to cap off a GOAT season. Not only did he average 25.8 points, 9.8 boards, and 6.8 assists while leading the league in free throw percentage at 610, just slightly missing out on a 50-40-90 season. He won his third consecutive league MVP, becoming the third player in addition to Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain to accomplish the feat. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that this is the greatest team Beantown has ever produced. The Celtics that year would win the franchise's second highest amount of games with 67 in the regular season. 40 of those games were at home. That's another record held by them and the Spurs. Having one of the greatest front courts ever assembled, they were ranked number 1 defensively and 3rd in offense. In the playoffs, they sweep the Chicago Bulls despite heroic efforts by Michael Jordan, The 50-win Dominique Wilkins-led Atlanta Hawks team were legitimately swept. As said before, the greatest franchise to never win in the 80s. The 57-win Milwaukee Bucks lost in 4 games. Finally, in a bittersweet turn of events, the Lakers were gentlemen swept by the 50-win Twin Tower Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon-led Houston Rockets. Ultimately, the greatness of Boston was witnessed by Houston firsthand as they lose the championship in 6 games. So, let me know what y'all think. I know there's only 10 spots. Remember, there's 76, 77-ish NBA champions. And I know me personally, if I could, I would, if 10 was more than the digit 10, I would put some of those other 60s Boston Celtic teams possibly on this list, or if this was a top 20 or a top 30 all-time list. But it's not. And because of it's not, I'm going to need y'all to let me know. Is this the greatest Boston Celtic team of all time? What about 2008? What about 1965? What about 1969? Y'all let me know. But first, hit that like button, comment at the beginning, middle, and ending of the video, share for others to see, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop. And finally, if there's a particular topic you want me to speak on, hit that link in the comment section below and donate to the Regg, man. We getting through this series, man. We 4 in. Let me know what y'all favorite teams are of all time.